Welcome to the live, man. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully y'all enjoyed y'all Sunday. I know. I'm live on the weekend again. Got the homie Ambu Black in the building. Shout out to him. What's up? How do I sound, y'all? Sound all right? Shout out to y'all. I know my microphones. I'm getting me another one. I'm definitely getting another one. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for tapping the screen. Appreciate that. What's going on, Lena? How you doing? Welcome to the live. I don't know. Was Cat live? Shit. Hopefully Cat wasn't live. I don't know. Can't do another live without Cat. That would suck. Shout out to Ambu. What's going on? We got Uppity in the building. What's going on? What's going on, Elijah? How you doing? Welcome to the live. We got Carl Foster in the building. Shout out to Carl. Let's see. We got Uppity, Carl. Thank you for sharing the live. Appreciate that so much. Opinion goes. I don't know how to do that. I was asking me this stuff. Shout out to everybody who's pulling up. All right, cool. So we having a great day. Just left the homie and CEO podcast over on Twitter. He's on YouTube. Y'all be sure to subscribe to the real and CEO. Real solid dude. I was checking out the pod earlier. Oh, you was in there with me, Ann, and Jay. Shout out to Jay, FBA. I mean, not FBA Jay. That's a bum. We're talking about Jay. Shout out to Jay. We got Revolutionary in the building. Shout out to Revolutionary. What's going on, Uppy? Thank you for the likes. Yo, we had 205 likes already. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for the likes. Thank you for the gifts. Be sure to knock out your daily heart me's. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Revolutionary, for the heart me. It means a whole lot. What's going on, Taiwan Griffin? As y'all know, this is the FBA Q&A. If you got a question, request up. Friendly or not, you know. So what's going on, Zandri? How you holding up? How's your Sunday going? Yeah. I made meatloaf today, finally. I know I've been saying that for a minute. I made meatloaf, rice with mixed vegetables. I did cheat on the mixed vegetables, though. I got those from the freezer aisle. So shout out to everybody. Welcome to the live, Lena. How you doing? It's been a minute. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with me. I've just been really locked in lately. I got these. Had some ramen. Oh, ramen. Yeah. I guess. Shout out to ramen noodles. Huge shout out to Samantha the Shy in the building. What's going on? How you doing, Revolutionary? Um. Okay, cool. Shout out to everybody pulling up. I'm just kicking it right now. Yeah. So I didn't really have no specific topic. I just wanted to pop in the live, see what everybody was up to. I mean, I did. I was editing videos all day today. I put out 3 YouTube videos. Of course, it's just live, but I kind of chopped it up. So I think tomorrow I'm gonna start working on the shorts, just because. Well, the TikTok reels. I think I'm gonna start putting those out. Huge shout out, yo. So Uppity, heard about Nick Cannon, tell his man that he told you about the Democratic Party. Yeah, exactly. So Uppity, I gotta give you guys, you and Sam, I give y'all access to my replays, so that way you can just pull it directly from it. I know that'd be a lot easier than screen record. Would it be easier than screen recording? You know, never mind. I don't think that'd be easier than screen record. But I guess I could do it like that. I don't know. Shout out to y'all. Yeah, Sam, you two, I gave y'all access to that. So y'all can make your own videos without it looking bootleg. No, I'm just fucking with y'all though. But yeah, no, shout out to Uppity. Uppity Sam, Cat. That says a bottle with about 15 people. A battle with about 15 people. What's that? Said a battle with about 15 people. In reference to what, Cola? It says Tariq is on live. He on live. Is he on TikTok live? Or on like Twitter?
POV. Hold on, give me a second, dude. So nobody ever said you're having a conversation. Nobody ever said that they want to be Anglo here. We understand that African American.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's not his live, it's somebody else live. Oh, okay. Shout out to Tariq. He got it. He going yeah. Uh yeah, he's running down his span. Yeah, it's just light work for Tommy Flex. Shout out to him. You know what? Hopefully they upload it on YouTube and we react to it a little better. Yeah, shout out to Tariq. Yeah, this is cake for him. Like I try to tell people, like, yo, he's been doing this shit for so long. He don't even have to try, man. Like the thing is, it's so crazy because, like, his the way he debunks him, man, he makes him look so stupid, and he be like, like I'm goofy, so I start laughing at him some every once in a while. But Tariq, he's a genuinely funny person, man. He be making me laugh. He be going at him now. But yeah, no, I mean, running down the Mexicans is just simple. It's history. It's truth. If you know history, this is a piece of cake. Like even with the Dominican lady the other day, shout out to her though. Much respect to her because she did accept it. You know, she listened and hopefully she learned something from that. And that's all we can ask for here at the library. I do have new graphics for the library though, new cartoon. If you've seen the YouTube channel, you know what I'm talking about. You may have caught it. It's real brief, but we got a lot more animation coming from the library. Wink, wink. So y'all be sure to check that out. Shout out to the librarians. Um, yeah, we read books and shit over here. It says really all these people have major problems in their communities and harassing us. The thing is, it's they have problems, but they're Kendrick Lamar. I was listening to him. He said something on his album. He said there's a lot of strong opinions with no power to carry it. You can have all these opinions, but their opinions don't mean much in this country unless we advocate or push for it. It doesn't really get done. And that's what the Democrats and the foreigners are mad about because Nick Cannon is speaking to something that foundational Black Americans have long since known that the Democratic Party don't like niggas. They don't. They really don't. And not to say the Republicans do. I mean, they don't really like us either. I mean, truth to be told. However, our people does vote for these motherfuckers at a 90% rate. So if there's an issue in the community or going on with legislation, we're gonna go to them first because they have control over it. I mean, that makes sense. There's no political party on the planet that has that a group. Thank you for the crown. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Where a group votes for them at a 90% rate and they don't get nothing for the vote. That's bullshit. So even if I don't vote Democrat, I know most people who look like me. When I say look like me, I mean from my lineage, by the way. Most people from the lineage voted for him. So then I'm going to go to them and say, hey, you guys have to do something for this community because we can't do it all by ourselves. And so what they do is, and this is where the grant writing thing really comes into place. So anybody who's a grant writer will understand what I'm about to say. So there are issues in the community and people profit off those issues. See, they have this thing where they want to solve the root issue that's causing poverty or this, right? So these YT people, Democrats, will say, hey, well, the root issue is um, L, alphabet mafia phobia, right? And so they'll say, hey, to get rid of the root cause, which is alphabet mafia phobia, we're gonna host classes where we tell people about it. So when they do that, they get a grant, 60, 70, $80,000 monthly, yearly, however, right? And for 2 weeks out the year, they'll put on a seminar about why hating the alphabet community is wrong. And they'll say that will cure poverty in the black community. Now, how many actually believe that will cure poverty in the black community? Well, I can tell you right now, it won't. But it's the fact that they wrote the grant that way. So now grant writers get a piece of the grant. So if it's an $80,000 grant, they get a 10% kickback. That person just got $8,000 when you that grant. See, this is how they do it. This is with the kickbacks. They keep the money flowing. And that's what USAID was. And as long as they're doing to fight freedom, they can get funded by an NGO. That's a non-government organization. See, that's how the Democrats were donating so much of that money back into the campaign trail. Keep up with the grassroots movement MAGA had going on. It was unstoppable. Country that hasn't seen anything like that before on that side of the aisle. So this is discussing the role of the Democratic Party addressing community issues. Yeah, but shout out to whatever the fuck this AI is because they are on it today. So I was thinking to myself, I want to grab me a soda downstairs. And I'm like, let me just finish this water first. Yeah, shout out to everybody in the live. Yeah, if you guys got anything y'all want to say, request up. Yeah, I'm just chilling today. Yeah. I get to talking to myself too long. I might shut the live down just for the record. So shout out to everybody who pulling up and liking the live. Yeah, we got 3.3K likes. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Lena. Huge shout out to Lena. Yo, so yeah, it felt interesting hanging out with NCO and Jay like back in the day. Like, yo, when I say that's how the shit used to be on Twitter back in the day, just sitting in space, just building. I mean, it was a lot more relaxed then. It was a lot more fun. It was a lot more easy going. Everybody had a camaraderie. It was crazy because you would have like it was 75 people in the space, which is like, that was like low numbers. But then again, you had to have a certain amount of followers to host a space. So it wasn't that many people who could host them. So you had a lot less. You had the audience were you had the topics were better. You wouldn't didn't have too many crash out spaces. Like the crash out spaces really started to take off when people from Clubhouse came over and kind of ruined the dynamic. Because you got to keep in mind, Twitter used to be a place people went for information. That was it. Sports people. It was sports people, news people. Like that's what Twitter was for originally. But Clubhouse people came over. Boom. Kind of, took another route. Says, did you send him the resolution today for 2009? I don't know what she's talking about. Shout out to Lena though. What's going on? We got Sister Brooke in the house. Brooke was over there with me thugging. Shout out to Brooke. Thank you, CC, for the heart. Me appreciate it so much. Shout out to CC in the building. Hopefully you're not arguing with no family members. And hopefully you haven't been arguing with family members. Shout out to Sister Brooke, man. Thank you so much for putting the cash app down there. Appreciate that, y'all. I was actually looking at something earlier, and it was your boy Dr. Umar, and he was talking about Jesse Jackson and how he wasn't he's gonna hold off reservations on him because he don't know for sure if he was a sellout, and then proceeds to drop the link and talk about where you can find multiple books calling him a sellout. I respect the ancestors so much. He's a E5, whatever the fuck that is. I guess niggas is doing that shit now. I guess that's the new way. I remember niggas was all claiming to be Muslim. Shout out to Sister Brooke in the building. What's up, Sister Brooke? How you holding up, gang?
I'm so tired. Y'all keep holding these lives I gotta be in.
You need to go to sleep.
I can't go to sleep when y'all alive. I can't do it. Now, if I'm asleep already, that's a different story. But now that I know you on, I can't go to sleep.
Man, I'm uploading my lives on YouTube now, so you're not missing nothing.
I know, but still, it's not the same. I like to be live where I can hit my like button, get your likes up.
I appreciate it. Yeah, shout out to you, uppies. After the shot, y'all keep the likes flowing. I got y'all marked as special people in the chat. I be having to take it off sometimes because all I see is it's like right now all I see is uppity, like in the live. So shout out to uppity, man. Appreciate it so much. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna get I guess I gotta give y'all back access to the replays so y'all can just download it yourselves. I think right now Doe and Greg of all people got it. He barely uses it, but yeah. So that way, if y'all want to chop up the videos yourselves and do that, y'all can. Because thank you. I've been watching the shorts y'all been making. Yo, shout out to y'all. It's fire. Yeah, shout out to and save some memory in y'all phone. My test never worked on this app. Oh, it's all good, Carl, man. Shout out to the homie Carl Foster, man. Yo, you Facebook friend, man. We locked in for real. It says can help with your YouTube as well if you give access. Okay, shout out to you, but appreciate it so much. I think I missed it. Where was that? Yeah, I was talking about y'all homeboy Umar Johnson. Let me go over history. Yeah, he was on something. I think he was on Art of Dialogue. I want to say, and he was talking about the Jesse Jackson thing. And I'm listening to him like throw him under the
Dr.
bus.
King, and that's who they're going to hit. Again, Art, it could have been a lie. It could have been a rumor. It could have been a misinterpretation, right?
Thank you so
but
much.
But according to what I read, Ralph David Abernathy or someone in the immediate circle said Jesse Jackson wanted to give that speech, and they said no. The people are here to hear Dr. King, and that's who's going to give the speech. And Dr. King came over there, and he gave the speech. I've been to the mountain, and it was prophetic. It was meant for him to give it because that's the last time we would see him alive in the storms of Memphis.
If I'm not mistaken, it's well documented that Martin Luther King, he was being followed by the CIA, right?
The FBI and the CIA.
Yeah, I can't listen to this nigga talk for too long. Yeah, he's so full of shit. But the point is, right? Why would you even say any of that? Like, that don't even make sense. Like, either you respect the dead or you don't. But it's not an insult to tell the truth. So to say that it's innocent to prove it, like I understand you walking somebody through your train of thought, their situation, but to say that, oh, I can't say, but then you give yourself keep giving evidence out that points to him being guilty. Like there's no mention of Jesse's side of the story in this at all. Now I'm not saying like I think highly of him. I do think that the brother Jesse Jackson was a Cherokee Indian, and the term African American did not fit us. I can definitely say I didn't like that contribution he made. Nor did anybody in my family like that contribution. So yeah, we don't have. I've been searching. I don't see Africa anywhere in my family. I wanted to know your thoughts on the video I texted you.
Can I add something?
Sure, go ahead, bro.
So remember when I called Al Sharpton a shakedown artist?
Mm-hmm.
I actually got that term from a book about Jesse Jackson. As I tell people all the time, when I say that, when I said that, Al Sharpton is a shakedown artist, a preacher without a church. The preacher without a church is something that my mother used to say all the time about Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. I grew up my whole life hearing my mother talk about them. My grandfather was an actual preacher with an actual church. And so, she took, my mom being a preacher's kid, she took extreme offense to, their fake preaching, preacherness. Right. And so, my whole life I grew up hearing my mother talk about how they preachers without a church and how do they make money, and they without a church and a job. That was the rest of the statement. Without a church and a job. She said, so how do they make money? And so if you guys like, it's on Audible, the book Shakedown Artist. It's a very long book, but it is full of information on how Jesse Jackson sold out the people. One of the things that I find to be very interesting was when when Dr. Claude Anderson talks about how he was the first person to write an affirmative action program, and how there were basically, Black sellouts who changed it into something in which he did not intend it to be. Jesse Jackson was one of those people, according to this book. Jesse Jackson has a half brother named Noel. And Noel basically was working with all types of gangs. He was also, I found this to be very interesting beyond the gang activity, was the fact that his brother Noel was basically found out that when Jesse Jackson used to go into these companies, let's say they did something racist, he would go in there and shake them down and make them give a certain amount of minority set-asides to Black businesses. Noel would come in as the Black business that he's given the minority set-asides to. And then Noel would then contract the business to white businesses, YT businesses. So it's what him and his half brother and the rest of his cronies were able to get away with. He was also one of the first architects, because him nameless African Americans was just a part of it. When you get down deep to it, he was also trying to, he was the first like James Smalls. He was going over there building fake relationships, to having fake coalitions with people and whatnot, trying to convince people to go over there and to convince people that we were, African by extension. And so, yeah, I recommend that everybody read that book, Shakedown Artist. I haven't even finished it. That's why I haven't started the Booker T. Washington book yet, because I'm still finishing the Jesse Jackson. It is a long book because there's so much betrayal and so much just so much insidious behavior that he did. This book is just full of it. Him and his half brother. And so, yeah, it's very, very interesting when you start looking at all of the things that they have done. The book starts off talking about how Jesse Jackson lied about being right there when, or hearing or holding Dr. King as he passed.
And he got popped in his arms, yeah.
And how Jesse Jackson came out, and I think it was Abernathy who was telling the truth about what happened, saying that Jesse Jackson came out and must have scooped up the blood and put it on his shirt, and then flew to Chicago for a press conference with the blood still on the shirt, so he could then take the the seat on the throne per se after a king's passing. So it's just that's how the book starts. Okay, that's how it starts off. So and then it just goes into all of the many things he's done to sell out the race and to enrich himself and his family. And I'll end there.
Yeah, thank you so much for the book. So we'll go to this video that Sam sent me. Now I don't know the context of it. She just sent it to me, so let's see.
Particularly for the United States, most disappointing because they know their role in this, took part in the horrendous atrocities that happened. We will leave it to their conscience. This was an opportunity for reckoning to show that they regret it, they are now contrite, they are willing to apologize, and they are willing to work with us on this journey towards reparatory justice.
This vote happened in the US and the US rejected this motion. What's your message to the Trump administration?
Ghana's message to the Trump administration is that you missed the golden opportunity, but it is not too late. This resolution has been passed. You have another opportunity to come on board, to work with this broad international coalition to put in place the systems that we are now formulating to totally dismantle the pillars of discrimination and racism, particularly for the United States, most disappointing because they know their role in this.
Okay, so let's be clear. Ghana played a role in this. I saw a longer version of this, and it was the U.S. response from the UN, and it said that they're not going to apologize for something that was legal under international law at the time, and also they don't think that Ghana should be speaking, considering Ghana also profited from the relationship as well. As a matter of fact, those chains he was holding were in Ghana where they held the people. Like, the fuck is he talking about? He's talking about everybody who voted in favor of condemning the translated slave trade. But like, my nigga, like, Ghana was the biggest beneficiary of it. And most of those slaves went to Brazil. And even up to America. So that's a mute point. Like, what is he on about? But see, if you don't know history, if you haven't done research, you wouldn't know that. That's why the number is 388,000 over 400 years. That's not much at all. And the vast majority of them, excuse me, oh shit, man, I didn't go to sleep. The vast majority of them went over to Brazil. So it's like Ghana saying, hey, yo, we took part in this, but please don't forget about that. Forget about that for a second, right? We're trying to make it right, and we need y'all money too. Also, I want to talk about this. I was listening to this earlier.
Fought for them so much, Art, that I would say they had an obligation to support her on election day in the primary.
This is your boy Umar, by the way.
Jasmine Crockett did a lot of standing up and fighting for the migrants and the immigrants.
Yeah.
She stood and fought for them so much, Art, that I would say they had an obligation to support her on election day in the primary. And guess what, Art? They did not. They came out for the white man instead of the black woman who fought for them. What is the message, Art? And I'm not surprised. Jasmine Crockett might be surprised. I'm not surprised. Because if you study the history of America, immigrants do not have a history of standing with black people.
At all.
You will get white people to stand with you before immigrants, Art. Chinese have never stood with black people. Arabs have never stood with black people. Latinos have never stood with black people.
That's all immigrants, by the way. Tethers included.
Indians have never stood for black people. Show me an immigrant group that has ever come to this country to stand with black people except our Caribbean.
No, nigga, they don't either. Shit.
African immigrant brothers and sisters. They have a history of standing with us more than anybody else.
They don't.
The Caribbean African immigrants have the strongest history of standing with black.
I knew he was gonna try to segue that in. I ain't seen this yet. No, that's not what they do. They try to get in office to speak for us and undermine our efforts. This is why you can't trust these niggas with these international investments.
But not these other groups. So Jasmine Crockett went out of her way to fight for these people. She stood up against ICE and the deportations, and when she needed them at the election booth, they did not show up for her.
Deuces.
I do think she could have focused a little bit more on fighting for resources and concessions for her district in particular and for Black America in general. I do. She was in the cameras a bit more than you generally find a Black elected official. I'm not going to hold it against her too much, Art, but I do think that we have allowed our elected officials, not speaking specifically about Representative Crockett, but I do think we have allowed our elected officials to carry themselves like untouchable celebrities. We don't hold them accountable. Look at Barack Obama. We do not hold our elected officials accountable at all, Art. We don't. They're like one step under the celebrity. They're one step under the rappers, the actors, the
I'm so sick of this nigga.
the singers, and we need to change that.
He was doing good though. He was doing good. He was doing good. So
are a Black public servant.
he was doing good at first, right? So let's break this down. Umar Johnson has realized that all that global shit he be talking, then why he was looking at him. Because I was disgusted. That's why. What's up, Keita? Shout out to Keita in the building. How can I put this, man? So he's looking at foundational Black Americans, the success and the support the movement has. Right. Best believe Umar Johnson watched that Kickstarter with a magnifying glass. So he saw the power, the financial power of foundation, but he's well aware of it, right? But he understood, hey, when they saw that showed him, hey, everybody, we mean business. And him knowing that foundational Black Americans are serious about the American side of it, focusing on home front, he's going to do what he can to try to mend that bridge for the Africans. So anytime he gets a chance to speak about Black Americans being patriots, he's going to placate to that, and he's going to find some way to tie in the immigrants. Oh yeah, hell yeah, he was looking at that Kickstarter. Oh, he was staring at that motherfucker, licking his lips like, if I could just tap back into that. Yo, when Black folks started delineating, that fucked up his bag. And like I tell people, like the biggest supporters we got of delineation were the old Pan Africans. I find FBA is very xenophobic. Well, let's talk about it, Mikhail. Let's talk about it. Request up. Let's talk. Grab a mic. Let's talk about it. This is the FBA Q&A. Request up. Let's have a discussion. You said FBAs are xenophobic. Let's talk about it. We're listening. Come up. You got the floor. Okay. Did y'all mute him or what's going on? I don't know if he got muted or not. All right. Somebody says FBA is very xenophobic. Okay, well, let's talk about it. Come on, pull up. Don't be scared. This is library. We don't yell or argue here. We have discussions like adults. Maybe some trolling might go on, but we're not gonna scream at you. But no, foundational Black Americans are not xenophobic. Yeah. So. So here's the thing, right? So as foundational Black Americans, and I say this a lot because I want this to become a burnt talking point in everybody's head because it's true. As foundational Black Americans, after we got the 1964 Civil Rights Bill, we went to our government and said, hey, your immigration practices a little too prejudiced for our liking. You got to open that shit up. So now all of a sudden, we got people from all over the world able to come to America. What's going on, Malik? How you doing? Talk to us, man.
I'm good. How
Welcome
are
to the
you?
live. How you feeling?
I'm good.
Where you from?
Um, I was born in Jamaica, but I grew up in New York City.
Congratulations. When did your people come make it over here?
Pardon?
When did your people come over here?
We came in the early 2000s.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. What made y'all leave Jamaica?
Well, I came when I was 1, so I didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm sure you heard the story, right?
Well, it was more for like economical opportunities. That's what I was told.
Okay, cool. So, you say you think foundational Black Americans are xenophobic, man? Where you get that from?
But some.
So, when you say that, and you come on this live, what did you hear that was xenophobic?
Pardon?
What did you hear that was xenophobic?
I haven't heard nothing particularly from you guys that was xenophobic, but I've come across other people that have.
So there's a Jamaican on the app by the name of Revenue. You ever heard of him?
Yeah, I kind of heard of him before.
So we were talking about the 1964 Civil Rights Bill. You know what he said to me? He said, that's why your ancestors got bit by dogs, sprayed with water hose, beat with nightsticks. That's what he said to me. Now, would it be fair to take his statement and place that on all Jamaicans?
No.
Okay, cool. So I just find it interesting. Now there are some things I do know about Jamaica. Been there a few times. Beautiful place, lovely beaches. Have you ever heard of the term yank before?
Yeah, growing up in New York, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm saying like so. What is a yank? What does that mean? You want to elaborate that for us?
Hold on. Carl Foster. Yeah, I've been here since I was 1. But the thing is that I grew up in New York, so there's a lot of Jamaicans up here.
Real quick. Focus on this. Is the conversation. The comments gonna do what the comments gonna do. Shout out to Carl Foster, that's my guy. But focus on the conversation. Now, I asked you a question. I'll repeat it again. Right? What is the term?
No, because you thought I was making it up. So
it is what it is. I mean, you worry about the wrong stuff. Shout out to Carl Foster. But anyway, so what is the term yank? Is that a pejorative term?
The term yank. To tell you the honest truth, I don't even know where the term Yankee comes from, because for me, when I think Yankee, I would think about the baseball team. So
have you ever heard of it used in a derogatory manner?
I have.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the term Akata before?
I've heard of that term too.
That is a derogatory term for foundational Black Americans. Have you ever heard of the term Jareer?
No.
Okay. Well, that's what the Somalians refer to foundational Black Americans as. Now, the Caribbeans, just in general, have been caught all over the place saying some very negative things about foundational Black Americans, basically sticking to every stereotype that the YT man gave them about us. That we're lazy, we don't want to work, all we do is blame the YT man. Now, I understand that's what you all been fed. But if you go back and you look at the history, The reason why your family were able to come here in the 2000s is because foundational Black Americans went to the government in 1965 and made sure that happened. Then they went again in the 90s, and now here we go. So the very fact that you were able to come into this country and speak to us is because we aren't xenophobic. So I think that's strange that you would come into a room full of people you've never met, a discussion you've never heard, and that's the first thing out your mouth is we xenophobic. That is prejudice right there. That's the very definition of prejudice. So what's this prejudice against foundational Black Americans you developed?
I don't have nothing against them, but a lot of people that I know told me that they've had like xenophobic experiences dealing with quote unquote foundational Black American people. So
What is the foundational Black American derogatory term for Jamaicans?
I don't know. I mainly just heard Yankee, and that's really it. So
No. I said, what is the term that we have for you that is derogatory? That's not a trick question. I really want to know. Do you know the term?
no.
We don't have one. We haven't done it. You know why we haven't done it? Because you know what we used to call y'all? Brothers, sisters. What's up, my brother? What's going on, my sister? That's what we used to refer to y'all as. So now it's like, all right. So we don't have any pejorative terms for y'all because we weren't xenophobic. You all had the terms for us, even though we were welcoming you guys in. The government had quotas for melanated people. Shout out to the family for 30K likes.
Y'all welcomed us
They,
interesting.
they didn't want y'all here. They still don't want y'all here. I mean, have you seen what they're doing now? You seen what ICE is doing? They're kicking people out of the country that had deportation orders back in 2001. This guy just got deported. He had a deportation order in 1993. Been on his job for 30 years and they deported his ass. The government is not playing with this, right? And it was foundational Black Americans that made it possible for so many people from around the Caribbean and the diaspora to come change their lives. And just because we say, you know what, we don't want to do the flat black thing no more, because in doing the flat black thing, people have taken advantage of that and undermined what we're trying to achieve. Are you familiar with a young man by the name of Byron Donalds? He's from New York, Brooklyn too, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I heard that name before.
So Byron Donalds, his mom's Jamaican, his dad is Panamanian. He is a first generation American. And he said he does not support reparations because his mother wouldn't get it. Now, do you understand how messed up that is?
Yeah.
Also, let's move past that, right? He also, right now, what he's doing currently, he is a congressman in Florida. He got to that seat because his record was expunged up in New York City by foundational Black Americans, by that. There was allegedly marijuana and bribery on the table. I'm not really sure. The details are a little murky. And they dismissed and sealed it so it would not harm his future. He was able to go to a HBCU in Florida, transfer over to a bigger college, make it into Congress, and now you know what he's doing right now? He's up in Washington, D.C. And in D.C. they have this thing. They don't have to charge, kids to the fullest extent of the law, or people to the fullest extent of the law until they're around 25. So if they're 24, they give them a chance. All right, we're not gonna charge you as an adult because it was stupid, and we don't want this felony on your record messing it up. So we're gonna give you a lighter sentence, right, or a lighter charge. He's trying to remove that, and he's only doing that to appease his Republican colleagues. Do you think that's right?
No.
Now, here's a man who's benefited off of what foundational Black Americans have done. He's benefited off foundational Black Americans' mercy. He went to a school designed to educate foundational Black American people, was given a second chance, and since he got a second chance, he's now what he's doing with his second chance is ripping away foundational Black American second chance in DC. This is a Jamaican guy doing this. And still, we have yet to insult you inside the library because this is where we go. We educate people. We read books and shit. We read the books and we see what works. And every time we have this discussion, we find out that there are certain people who, like yourself, lean to stereotypes and generalizations. We speak to the individual. We find out what it is about you as a person that makes you think this way, and we discuss it. I'm discussing it with you right now. Like, I'm not saying anything crazy. I haven't insulted you. I've only told you the train of thought foundational Black Americans have. We don't have a history of xenophobia. We have an entire history of educating people and hoping they do well. You know, people were freed from slavery in this country in, was it 1865? By 1900, we had universities. Tuskegee, Hampton. You had a lot of universities going on. People were educating each other.
Yeah, but the thing is
We
that I'm
took
not
in
trying to
students from.
stare. Hold
No,
on.
I'm just telling you what foundational Black Americans are. Like, we took in people from all over the world when no one else would take them. We even fought for them to have visas. This is 1800s. We did this. So when you say FBAs are xenophobic, that's not true. Now you gotta have some idiots on this app who want to yell, scream, and insult people, but that's the nature of the beast. But just like I don't assume all Jamaicans are like Byron Donalds, you shouldn't assume all FBA people are the same way.
I didn't
Does that make sense
assume
to you?
Alia are like that. It's just that I know a lot of people close to me that had experiences dealing with yeah in those type of ways. So
What do you think the people in DC are feeling when they hear that a Jamaican Panamanian is going to take away their ability to have a second chance? That's law, by the way. He's writing that into law. That's not of, hey, I pulled up on a TikTok and got insulted and put my phone down. That's something that he's writing into law that's going to affect their lives. I'm trying to give you an example of why delineation is a thing. Now, delineation is, shout out to Sister Brooke, Brother Divine, U.S. Freedom Project. Delineation was going to happen one way or another. Right? We got around to it. It doesn't have to be a painful process. The problem with it is there are people who understand what that really means for them. That means no more under the guise of flat blackness claiming to speak for foundational Black Americans. You see? So Byron Donalds is engaged in the battle right now with a guy named James Fishback out of Florida. And James Fishback noticed an anomaly in Byron Donalds' campaign contributions. And he said, yo, he's gonna be a slave to his donors. I don't see anything wrong with the phrase. Byron Donalds tried to use foundational Black American history, the horrible history we face in this country at the hands of this government, to condemn James Fishback. Keep in mind, Byron Donalds also said he does not believe in reparations, but he will use the horrible history we face in this country to try to shame a YT candidate. And he was pissed when the YT candidate reminded him that he doesn't have slave ancestry in this country. And he was pissed off about that because foundational Black Americans agreed. So people view our history in this country as convenient. Oh, you gotta get out teacup, bro. We gotta drop it. We'll bring you back. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing over there. Anyway, people will use our history in this country to try to advance themselves politically and get mad when we don't want to accept it. But I think it's interesting when they come into the live and they say the first thing out their mouth is we're xenophobic. That was wild. Yeah, we had to drop you, man. You was doing too much on Teacup. You can't be on Teacup, bro. Dang, where Cat at, man? I miss Cat. All right. If Cat lied, tell Cat to come over. Okay. What's up, Samantha?
Oh yeah, this will be quick. Hey, the
If it's
chat
brief.
is asked if you'll play that video with Byron Donald saying that they wanted to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Uppity. All right. What's going on, AES? Or do you have something you said you want to add real quick, Brooke?
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop down.
Because
Thank you, Sam.
the gentleman talked about a lot of his experience here, or people that he knows experience here, and being a New Yorker, and being a foundational Black American who grew up completely surrounded by Caribbeans in a Caribbean neighborhood called East Flatbush. I can attest that a lot of the xenophobia that you probably felt was from other Caribbeans, because we don't know the difference between a Jamaican, a Haitian, or anyone else. We just know that you're Caribbean, and we looked at you as just being Black. You're a different Black, but you're still Black. And so the jokes that you guys are always saying that, were perpetrated on you or told on you or whatever it was usually coming from your own community. And so now the ones that have been here longer than you will then make fun of the new ones that came. As a matter of fact, I had a friend whose nephew had just got here from Jamaica. And, he was not up on, which boots to get. Like, he didn't know, you got to get the Timberlands and not the ones that look like Timberlands, right? He didn't know, what type of jeans to get. He didn't know what type of whatever to get. And it was the children of the Caribbean, who are an extension of Caribbean children, but the children of first and second generation immigrants, Caribbeans, that was making fun of him. He was not in a school with a bunch of American children, and they were making fun of him. And I thought it was very odd that they would see somebody who's from where they all say they're from, right? Boop, right? But nobody was sitting there trying to take this boy and like explain to him, yo, you got to get these type of shoes. Like, you can't get the fake Tims. Like, people will make fun of you. Like, nobody was trying to take him under their wing. So I just like, to remind them and to ask, because a lot of your Caribbean brethren, especially the first and second gens, like to drop their accents when they're making fun of you. And so you think that they are American, when in fact you should ask where their parents are from.
Yeah, we just saw that over on Twitter. There's a guy, was it Cape Verdean? Got a whole crew were foreigners, and they went around talking hella shit about, tethers. This is what they did. They was going around talking. All of them were foreign, like 100% foreign. They were cosplaying FBA, and they were saying some of the most egregious shit about their own people. And what gave them away, oddly enough, shout out to Sister Brooke, was the type of shoes they was wearing. Every single one of them. Shout out to the homie exposing. Shout out to exposing agents. Shout out to exposing agents. Okay, what's going on, AES man? How you doing?
Not too much, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. What brings you in today?
Yeah, I mean, like Brooke was describing, I mean, I'm sure we had that experience of growing up in high school and, not fitting into certain groups, and you have to find your way through your own experience and how to adapt, you know. But some of my friends are, most of my friends right now are Black Americans.
So where you from?
Originally, I'm from Burkina Faso, but I grew up in Guinea-Conakry, Africa.
Okay. Shout out Burkina Faso.
And right now it's right now my friends, that were picking on me before, we're good friends now. They call me all types of names, and booty scratcher and all that
I
stuff.
think people don't understand that's our culture.
Yeah, but I don't consider it's called joning. I don't consider it xenophobic or anything like that.
There you go. There you go. That's the culture. Like, if you talk to most foundational Black Americans, they'll tell you their first nickname was an insult. Like, they'll damn sure tell you mine was.
Yeah, it's a cultural difference. I believe. A lot of people take that as xenophobic. I personally don't think it as xenophobic. My only thing is right is when you get on certain panels and you show decorum. Some people, because maybe they lack the range, don't like to really converse with you on that level. So they start to revert to the ignorant word choices. And, so that's where it becomes a little bit more xenophobic. But, I like the dialogue. So, my question is, right, I want to know where this, so FBA, I know stands for Foundational Black Americans, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So there's been multiple reclassification of Black American, or do I have to African American, Black American? I mean, they're all interchangeable.
Nah, African Americans kind of played out, but go ahead. We'll listen to you for the sake of argument. Listen.
Right. African American is played out, right? But African American existed since the 1860s, and Jesse Jackson.
1988.
1960s.
But
1988. So to kind of speed this up, right? So the Jesse Jackson thing, if you could take a look back at 1865, all the way on up, that people were native. The reclassification was to hide the native ancestry that foundational Black Americans had, and not to get too much into it, we the outer Africa theory was pushed by YT Man, um, to
yeah, I
say
don't
the
believe that. I don't
least.
believe that either.
Yeah, to say the least, right? So, but we don't like it. But go ahead. But you can make your point though. But because the reclassification from us being black and Black Americans to African Americans was to muddy the waters on that a little bit. So now you have flat blackness, and everybody under the term flat blackness fits into the African American category. So what we're saying is foundational Black American, that category is based on a status, which is the freedman status, which is the status we had. That was the actual name of us, freedmen. See, in 1800s, you had freemen and you had freedmen, right? Free and freed. The term freedmen became redundant once slavery was abolished. You see,
Can I ask a question? Sorry to interrupt.
but you interrupting while I'm talking to somebody. Just wait, please. Thank you. I want to make sure he understands the answer to his question first. Okay, we don't do that here. We don't just cut people off. But you understand it because I don't think he was done answering his question. He's asking his
Yeah,
question either. I'll just kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
breaking down the classifications for him.
I got you. I got you. I understand that. My follow up question is this, right? So under the guides or classification of EA Foundational Black American, they are also other groups that associate with that, which is
What groups?
the indigenous. They call themselves. They used to be called American Indian.
Listen, this is why my grandmother is full-blooded Choctaw. On my father's side, his mother was full-blooded Native. His father was something else, half, right? If you go further in your history as a foundational Black American, you're gonna see natives in there. So to those people who are saying they're American Indian, whoop de fucking do. Hey, you gotta get off T. Yeah, we gotta drop you. Hey, you gotta get off teacup, bro. Yeah. If he go on teacup again, drop him, Sam. Um. Anyway, the point is, if niggas want to claim they Indian side and just they Indian side, so be it, bro. You understand the foundational Black Americans who refer to themselves as Gullah Geechee, right?
Okay,
You
that's
listening?
that's what I'm
There,
confused
there,
by
there are also
because
foundational Black Americans who are Creole, but they're still 100% foundational Black American. It's a regional thing. It's not a difference. It's like regionals. So that's a regional thing. When you talk to these people, you ask them where they from, they're gonna give you the same region. if where their family's from, correction, and then give you the same region because that's just another regional name for those people. Cajun, Creole, that's Louisiana. Gullah Geechee, that's the Eastern Seaboard. Carolinas and Georgia. We know this. They're still foundational Black American. It's not a difference. The term Sulan was created by the homie Midnight, T. Roy, and Maroc. They niggas. Still foundational Black American. So we don't divide ourselves up like that.
I got you. I'm trying to understand your like I mean, I hope you don't mind me asking these questions. You know, if you know.
No, it's fine. No, listen. I understand. It's gonna be. It might be a while before you find another live of people not screaming. So I get it. Go ahead, get your questions out.
Cool. Yeah, because I like to learn. That's the reason why I'm asking these questions. So initially, right? I think foundational Black American was created on the basis of it being a lineage.
It is a lineage.
Okay. So my follow-up question is, it being a lineage, doesn't it need to have common ancestry?
You said what?
To be a lineage, you have to have the same ancestry.
Okay, so here's the thing, all right? I know where you're going with this. This is why we say it's lineage based, because everybody has their each individual lineage that goes back to the same
lineage
time period.
base.
Listen.
Lineage
You
base. No, I
ask
got
the
you.
question, get
Go
the
ahead,
answer, right? The reason why we tell people it's lineage based because it's based on your individual lineage. I, Daniel, am a foundational Black American who can trace my great grandfather, great grandfather back to the 1700s. Same last name, all the way up. That is my lineage. Brooke down there can trace her ancestry back to Louisiana to I think the 1600s maybe. That is her lineage. Both of our lineage go back to the founding of this country, i.e., foundational Black Americans. That's the lineage we're talking about. It's lineage based. Have you ever heard of the mafia before? La Cosa Nostra?
No, not familiar with that.
Let me break it down to you, right? So in order to become a made man, they have to be able to trace your ancestry back to Sicily/Italy. It's a lineage-based group. Theirs is crime, ours is heritage. It's different, right? It's the same concept, just like royal bloodlines, right? They have to be able to trace their ancestry back. It's the same thing. It's, hey, foundational Black American is a term that applies to Black people in America who can trace their ancestry back to the founding of the country.
Okay, I mean, I get the concept. Being that it's a lineage base. Yeah, I get the concept. I mean,
Okay. I don't understand how you're not grasping the concept.
no, I mean, you're saying that it's a lineage base instead of a lineage. The lineage base.
You understand every human being has a lineage, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you say you're from Burkina Faso. Are there people from Burkina Faso that live in America who can trace their ancestry back to Burkina Faso?
There are people who live in America.
There are people from Burkina Faso
Mhm.
who live in other countries, can trace their ancestry back to Burkina Faso, correct?
Yeah.
So their ancestry is in Burkina Faso.
Yes, the ancestry is Burkina Faso.
So if they say my lineage goes back to Burkina Faso, that's where my family is from. That's my lineage, Burkina Faso. And they say, oh, okay, so you're a Burkina Fasoan. Take that. Come over to America. Same logic now. Keep the same logic. Walk with me now. I, Daniel, born in Michigan. My grandfather's from Mississippi. His ancestry goes back, well, mine too, the same thing. It goes back to the 17. I found the 1700. Probably goes back further than that, but I found the 1700s thanks to me being able to look. 1700s in this country. You have Brooke, lives in New York. Her ancestry goes back to Louisiana. She can trace her ancestry back to the 1700s, i.e., the founding of this country. You have people, Black Americans, from all over the place, can trace their ancestry all the way back to the beginning of this country. Turns out the black people in the beginning of the country were building a motherfucker. So it's called Foundational Black American if you can trace your ancestry back to the founding of the country. Therefore, the status, the name FBA, is based off the status of being able to trace your lineage back. When you're saying lineage, we're not talking about one common Negro that ran around and had everybody. That's not what we're saying. We're saying, hey, our lineages are similar. As in, it goes back to the founding of this country. Similar, not the same. Congruent,
Okay,
but not
okay,
equal.
okay, 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 okay. I copy that now. All right. I'm following you now. Right. So I follow you. So it goes back to the founding of the country.
Cool. Cool. Any more questions?
I mean, one last question.
Okay.
Do you one last question. What about the foundational Black Americans who have African ancestry?
Well, what ancestry?
African ancestry.
African ancestry.
Yeah, from chattel slavery.
How many Africans do you think came over to America during the transatlantic slave trade?
Can you just answer me that question?
I'm asking you a question. Like, how many do you think came over?
Hey, let's not start this with bad faith. If you could just answer me that question,
What you
all I
mean? The
need.
question itself is in bad faith. I'm asking you how many people came over.
I mean, it's not in bad faith, but I
It's
mean, I don't
definitely
want
in
to.
bad faith. And okay, I'll explain to you why. Right? This is the reason why. So, did you know that around maybe 1,500 a year people came from the transatlantic slave trade to America?
Me?
That includes North America too. I mean, that includes the Bahamas and the Caribbean too. Most of those people ended up in Brazil.
Yeah, but you were saying, can you just answer that question and then we can move on? Like, I would answer your question. You just answer my
Okay,
question.
gotcha. Samantha the Shy, you know what to do. Samantha the Shy, I'll let you know what to do to get the question answered. But what's going on, Malik? How you doing? Welcome to the live.
Yeah, sorry about that. Before I ask, well, I just want to say, like, I apologize for that statement that I made earlier.
No,
And
it's all good. Appreciate it, homie. But what's up, man?
um, I want to know, like, just I want to know, 'cause like, growing up, I never heard the term foundational Black Americans. So I always just want to know, how did that term came about? Just, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to like ask.
You asking the origin of the story?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. I don't listen. I don't know. Well,
It's
I do know
okay.
the term. Dr. Clark Anderson wanted us to use the term Native Black, and our good brother Tariq Nasheed was like, "Yo, foundational Black American." He said it. It's stuck. It perfectly encompasses everything we need, and logically speaking, it's the most accurate description of what we are in this country, and it also encompasses our freedman status. So we just kind of rock with it. The culture decided.
Okay. Thank you.
You know, what's so crazy though. My aunt is 85 years old, And she told me when her kids first came home talking about African Americans, she was very pissed off about it because we're not African. Um, so you do understand in this country we have a right to self-identify as we feel. This particular self-identification happens to be based on our status in this country, which is the most accurate description of what we are. You understand it, right? Y'all be sure to cash app if you can, man. Nothing's requested, everything's required. I mean, nothing's required, everything's appreciated. Do you understand that, Malik? That making more
Yeah.
sense?
Mm.
Cool. Good talk. What's going on, Vision? You requested. You there, Vision?
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome to the live. How you doing, man?
All right. I'm Foundation Black America or Black, you know what I'm saying, whatever they want to consider us. But I'm trying to, he asked the question is, as far as Foundation of Black America, when did it start? I'm trying to figure out why they so caught up on when we started calling ourselves FBAs. It shouldn't matter what we identify ourselves as, because a lot of this, went about is due to people cosplaying as Black Americans, and everybody want to consider themselves Black now. You know what I'm saying? But they not really a part of that lineage. You know what I'm saying? And they cosplaying us. So I don't understand. Why they asking that question when we was calling ourselves Black in the past. They didn't want to consider themselves. Most of them was Jamaicans, or when you say to Jamaicans or Africans, they was saying where they was from or what type of tribe they was with. So now all of a sudden, it's something different. They want to ask all these questions now.
Well,
But
the reason why they just real quick because you're doing the rambling thing real quick.
okay.
The reason why they doing it, the reason why they upset about it is because foundational Black American is status based, and hold on, I'm mute you real quick. 'Cause I'm sorry that throws me off. But you can kick it for a little bit. Anyway, foundational Black American is a status based thing. So if we're not going by flat blackness anymore, that means they can no longer come on and put Black on their application or a scholarship and apply for it. That means they'll be treated the same as anybody else. And they understand that means they will lose out on a whole lot of stuff. So what they do is they apply to Ivy Leagues under the guise of Black. And then they always highlight that they're Nigerian. And what researchers have shown was that people, somebody talk, mute your mic. Thank you. So that was very annoying. Anyway, and what researchers have shown is that the Caribbeans and the Africans are favored over foundational Black Americans when it comes to the Ivy League because they can get away with a lot of disparaging, prejudice jokes that they make. So, yeah, that's why they prefer them. As a matter of fact, one of the selling points that a lot of these foreigners use is we're not as sensitive as the Black Americans. So when you cut that incentive out, they become less desirable for employers, for tax write-offs, things of that nature. And you'll start to see them miss out on a lot of things. So that umbrella of flat blackness is going away. And they know what that means. And they don't like that. So that's why they're concerned. This is self-preservation. They don't really care about this has never been a conversation. Well, how foundational Black Americans viewed them has been something they never cared about. They never cared about it because in their minds they were always better than us. As a matter of fact, they would go out their way to speak to how lazy we are, how we always blaming the YT man, and how they just work hard, how hard they have to work, and they put their head down, they look up and they're successful, and here we are still complaining and not taking them. It was some clown. I think it was either I don't know, one of my moms sent to me. I think it was Samantha. And the guy was saying, he was like, "Oh man, they took the chains off of y'all physically, and y'all just put them on y'all mind." We had islands that were 10 times worse. It's like, no, we were the only group in America. I mean, only group on the planet. I don't know if you tried to request on purpose to try to get you up here. Request again if you tried that. But anyway, we are the only group around the planet that were able to get equal citizenship under the law, under the Constitution. with our government. So we have a fight for justice. They have a fight for freedom. It's not the same. Yes, those fights do intersect, but they're not the same fight. They haven't made it to where we made it yet, which is the reason why they all coming over here. And that's why they're upset, because the gravy train is about to stop. So cool. Hopefully, I answered your question.
Can I add something
What's
to
up?
that? You
Go
mind if
ahead,
I
bro.
add? Thank you.
Yeah, if it's go ahead.
Yeah, it's pertinent to the conversation. So when we had the hearing on Saturday, there was a historian that talked about Staten Island and the history of slavery there. And one of the peculiar things that I thought that she mentioned was the fact that there was a foundational Black American man who had to mortgage his wife. See, nobody else went through things like that. And he had to mortgage his wife. He paid her. It took him 10 years to pay her off just to have his wife. And so when other groups that went through some form of slavery where they're originally from come here, they don't understand the nuances of the things that we had to go through here. And that was one of them that I just thought that it was a really wow moment. Oh, and he had to pay her off with interest as well. She mentioned the original price and then how much he ended up paying with her, paying off for her with interest after 10 years. So nobody else had to mortgage their family members.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, bro. What's going on, bro? How you doing? Welcome. You requested up?
Hello?
Boogie, you requested?
Yes.
What's up?
Hi, how are you?
Sleepy. Where you from?
I'm Black American from Florida.
Like, where your family from?
South Carolina.
Okay, what's up? You got a question?
Oh shit, this is a Q&A. I was just gonna just comment on kind of like what you're talking about. I see like I'm glad the bill
Before
is
you
being
start, there's the no rambling. Please stick to that, though.
okay, what's the talking point then? Or is it just like a Q&A for like anybody to ask questions? Okay, Q&A. Okay, so how do you feel about the whole movement and everything?
What movement?
Movement or whatever you want to call it. Like, do you say like that you're FBA? I know like some people kind of would
Yes,
just
I'm
say
a
Black
foundational
American
Black American.
FBA.
Yes, I'm a
Okay,
foundational
because
Black American.
okay. I have a good question now. No, I'm not Haitian. Thank you. Like people are crazy. So do you think that FBA gets like a bad name in a way? Because I say Black American, but they're quick to want to give like FBA a bad name. Like I don't agree with everything that Tariq says. Like I don't like they just made him the leader when it wasn't. It was the man that you
Well, who
said
made Tariq the leader? He's not a leader. He says
that's
that.
what they're saying on panels. I was on a panel earlier, and that's what they kept saying over and over. And I understand that he has magnetism. He's funny. They keep saying I'm not FBA. It's just so funny. I don't know Creole. I'm just saying the comments are hilarious. But you dropped me.
I'll just point to the no rambling. Like, I'm ready to get to your point. Like, listen,
What
every
do they
time
mean? No
somebody
FBA
does,
would say that. I don't understand. It's like a witch hunt.
I don't know why you focusing on the comments when me and you having a discussion. I'm not looking at the comments.
Okay.
Here's the thing, right? People come in all the time, and they talk about they have these agent talking points where they say Tariq Nasheed's leader. Blah 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 blah. We heard this, right? Tariq is not a leader. You can't lead a
I'm not
lineage.
I'm sorry, I can't with the comments. This is the first time I've ever been called Haitian. I don't
Self
know no
control,
Creole.
self control, self control. Don't focus on them. Listen to what I'm saying. Like, come
That's
on,
but I'm saying this is why FBA gets a bad name because
lady. Now, do you think the statement before you make that statement? What you think about that second? Do you think the statement you're about to make is gonna make the comments better or worse? Because what you're
no,
about to
because they're
say
just
is
looking
gonna
for something. It's like a witch
listen.
hunt.
Okay, listen. This is where self control comes in. At I'm talking to you. I'm not accusing you of being anything. Is when you try to fight the allegations like that, it makes you seem more of what you're trying to avoid. Because we believe it or not, there have been entire groups on this app. I bullshit you not even a joke. Uh, of foreigners from Cape Verdean, from Ghana, from everywhere, cosplaying as foundational Black Americans, hosting panels like this, saying the most egregious things about foreigners. So people are like, wait, okay, this sounds a little odd. So when you come on sounding like them, of course people are gonna look at it like, oh wait, what are you doing? What are you talking about? And then the way you saying it, oh, Black American, Black American, Black American. Look, it's no such thing as giving an entire lineage a bad name. Like that group and stuff right there, that's not what we do. It's not a group, it's not an organization. It is a term that describes the status of people. You're from Florida, right? You from South Florida, North Florida?
I'm from North Florida.
Okay, gotcha. You guys do things differently than Miami people do, right?
Definitely.
Does that make them any less Floridian than you?
No.
Okay, so let's say people in Florida vote Republican, some vote Democrat. They're all still from Florida. The people who are Democratic tend to vote Democratic policies. People who are Republican vote Republican policies. They tend to have very different viewpoints on things, but they all still live in the same state, correct?
Correct.
And if somebody in North Florida is saying something, do you label all Floridians with that? Matter of fact, in Florida, I know for a fact they don't even care about the city they from. They more focus on the county. You ask me where
Exactly.
they
I
from?
can
I'm
say
from
my
Broward. I'm
county.
from Duval.
Yeah.
I'm from Duval. I ain't from Miami. I'm from Dade. I didn't nigga tell me you live right in Miami. Go on and tell you from Miami, from Dade.
We're a
So
melting pot.
exactly, that's foundational Black Americans, right? Just because one person or a couple people are rowdy, because you go to Jacksonville, aka Duval, it get wild out there. You know that if you're from North Florida,
Yeah. Have you
Orlando.
been?
Yes, my mom. I used to live in. It don't even matter. I used to live in Pensacola. But the point is, when you in that, it's not right for me to say that all of Florida is the same as Duval. That's what you're doing. And as a person from Florida, you know that's not the truth. So if a person from Florida saying, man, all of Florida's crazy, like, hold on, that ain't how. No, that's Duval. We different over here in Broadway. It's different in Broadway. Nah, yeah, nah. Then people gonna be like, nah, I don't think you from Florida. Because even if you say Jacksonville, when people ask you where you from, and you say Jacksonville, I'm like, wait, are you from Florida? Because anybody from Jacksonville gonna say Duval. You see? So when you use language unfamiliar to the family, we're looking at you like, wait, what? That's all it is. It's like,
Yeah.
wait, why would you say that? You know what I mean? Like, just how you look at a person from Florida and say, yo, why would you say you from Jacksonville? You mean Duval, right? Why would you say you from Miami? You mean Dade, right? So I just think, like before you get defensive, you gotta take a look at how you enter in the conversation.
Yeah, I'm a Florida native, born and raised. Um, but yeah, I've just been on different panels today, enjoying the conversations, learning a
Yeah, so
lot.
don't loop everybody in with the bad name nonsense, because the only people who say that about foundational Black Americans are either the foreigners. That's what they say. Everybody who understands the culture understands. Like, listen, this is what happens on these panels. These foreigners come up, they disrespectful, they get roasted, and they realize they're not as funny as us, they're not as charismatic as us, and they can't joke as long as us. And then before you know it, they try to get disrespectful, and then they can't do that better than us either. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, you guys are so disrespectful, you're xenophobic, and it's like, well, you lost the fight you picked. You lost the fight you picked. And if you grew up in a foundational Black American household, chances are your nickname was probably an insult. What was your first nickname? Don't even say it out loud. Think about it. Was it a compliment?
I mean, it was just my cheats because I have, I mean, especially when I was a little kid, like Chi Chi, that was the name.
Yeah. See, that's what we do. We crack jokes on each other. It's hard. You hard pressed to find a foundational Black American that will not crack a joke. That's what we do. The whole lineage is a bunch of goddamn comedians. So that's what we do. We crack jokes. That's why we have the best comedians. So we're naturally funny like that. So when you bump into somebody who can't take a joke or a question or a little hazing, it's kind of look at you like, huh? Like, if I call my little brother right now on FaceTime, he gonna answer with a fucking joke. Like he's just gonna answer with a joke. Matter of fact, let me do this real quick. He's gonna answer with a joke. I don't know if I want to put him on here. He gonna talk hella shit, but this is what we do as a culture. So I'll be looking at you. I'll be looking at you a little strange when you find jokes out of the ordinary. And do you have to know a person to joke with them in the culture?
No, not at all.
No, you don't. You sure? Because I
Because
know
we can
full
look.
strangers.
We all make that
You
look
should,
like something's funny. We all like I may not know that person in public, but if we see something crazy, we make that look at each other like, yeah.
okay, cool. So now I'll be explaining that to you. This is a Q&A. So if you think of any more questions, request up. But don't be so sensitive.
Yeah.
All right, you have a nice day. It's this the library. We don't yell and scream at people here. But if we damn so suspect you of not being one of us, we gonna say something. Not to play with those type of jokes. Whatever. What's going on, CMB? How you doing? Welcome to the live. I don't know if you was crunching up a water bottle or what.
My bad, bro. My bad. I was getting some food for my little pet gecko. So man, I'm 46. I'm from South Memphis. My
No, you
grandparents.
not. No, you not.
Who?
What did you know about Mr. Goldman?
Mr. Goldman?
Yeah.
No, you may have to educate me on that.
You want to know about South Mall?
Southland Mall. You talking about
You
the
from
joint on Elvis Presley
you from
in
South
Third
Memphis for
Street?
sure? You ain't never heard of South Mall? They closed now, but you ain't never heard of it. You 46?
Yeah,
What
bro.
you know about
South.
that? What you know about the flea market on Third Street?
I grew up from down the street from that, man. That was that
What's
was
the name of that pharmacy right there? I give you a hint. It's a chain.
it was Walgreens, man.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you might be from South Memphis. So you know who Mr. Goldman is? Every nigga in Memphis know who Mr. Goldman.
Right, I may not, man, but you know what I mean. I know about Southland. You know what
South
I
Mid.
mean.
This is my stomping ground. Man, I'm from Helena. I grew up in Helena, Arkansas. Helltown, right across the bridge.
Okay, so you know about Kansas Courts and South
Yeah.
Parkway, Third Street. Yes, sir.
SOUTHL Parkway. Don't play
So I
now.
went to
Don't play with
AB.
me, man.
I went to AB Hill. I went to Florida Elementary. Then I went to Doubletree Elementary. Then I went to
Okay,
JP
okay,
Freeman.
okay.
Then I
Yeah.
went to
Memphis,
Whitehaven.
Memphis.
You hear me?
Okay,
So
you mean Black Haven, don't you?
Black Haven, Black Haven. You got me. You
All
got me.
right, come on
You
now.
got me.
No.
All
What it
right.
is,
So
bro? Hey, man,
so what?
say, man.
What I was saying though, bro, like I was on a couple of panels, and you're right, they do cosplay as us. I brought up the point. I said African American is a misnomer. Oh well, we were brought across on the slave. I was like, you got to understand that there were indigenous people here already, and some of the
Yeah.
slaves who came across, they ran to the indigenous tribes because at the point in time the white boy was so afraid to go out there in the woods. Anytime he did go out there to try to catch a slave, he gets sent back with his scalp missing. So you can't just lump us all as an African American. By that logic, Elon Musk is he not an African American?
That's a fact.
You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, he didn't come across on the Atlantic trade. I never said he did, but I do know that he was born in South Africa, which makes him an African. And when he came over here, he also got the American status. So he's an African American. How is he an African American and I'm an African American? Make it make sense. They can't. Then that's when the insults start coming. Whenever they start insulting you, know that you are on the right path. Why won't you identify as African American? This the last time I checked. I was born in the land of the free, supposedly. So I do have a prerogative on what I would classify myself as or what I want to identify as. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, see, that's the thing when you're having a discussion with these people, you understand like they first thing. So when you talk to them, and the first thing out their mouth is they don't understand this FBA thing. It's not that they don't understand it. What they mean to say is they don't see where they fit in because it doesn't describe them, it describes us. We have a right to self-identify as whatever we want to. And this particular self-identification comes with, I don't know, status, freedman status. Because that's really all it is. It's just freedman status all over again. We're
Right
just
on.
calling it foundational Black American. So it's freedmen. See, the whole point. So back in the day, and this is when the slaves were freed, they would be called freedmen, F-R-E-E-D, right? Now you had some people who were never enslaved in this country because they own property. Those people were referred to as freemen. Free, freed. After everybody was freed, the term freedman becomes redundant. You see? So they had to come up with another one. So now you fast forward the tape, they find a way to loop in the Caribbeans, the Africans, and everybody else who comes from that continent. And they call it African American. Some Pan African bullshit. And Jesse Jackson pushed that. May Allah rest his soul. Today, we are listening to the teachings of Dr. Claude Anderson because he told us to call ourselves Native Black. I had been doing that for years since I read the book. Tariq was like, yeah, foundational Black American. It's all encompassing. It's the same thing. It it puts the status in there, and it's very descriptive about what we're talking about. You can trace your ancestry back, and you see. See, the reason why the foreigners feel so threatened by that term is because you know what's going to happen when we do get reparations, and when it's fairly recognized as a status in this country, and we switch from the African American, the flat black thing, to that specific thing, you know what happens? They miss out on a lot of opportunities because right now, under flat blackness, they get scholarships, they get grants, they get set asides, all that's meant for us. And they will go to the employers and people who are doing these set asides and they'll tell them, hey, we're not as sensitive as them. You can say whatever you want to say. Hey, my ancestors weren't slaves. I don't care. And they'll allow them to denigrate, disrespect, and they'll join in on the laughs and the jokes because it's not their history. Did you know when the Nation of Islam was rising up, Elijah Muhammad message was so powerful to the black man that when they sent black agents in to infiltrate, they quit the agency and turned their badges in and worked security for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Did you know that? And you know what happened? They found a group of people who didn't mind infiltrating and was immune to the message. Caribbeans and Africans. They didn't care. It's not their history. See, it's kind of hard snaking out people when Elijah Muhammad is telling you about how the devil did what he did in these wilds of North America, and you got a granddaddy who lost your life inheritance because some guy got drunk with a gun. Well, pew pew. We love TikTok shop. Kind of hits a little harder. See, I know my family from Greenwood, Mississippi. I know what my uncle told me, my granddad told him, what my dad told me. I know what happened down there. See, when you understand that logic, it hits you. Then you go back and you start to see all the things our people fought for. See, I was reading recently Booker T. Washington, Up from Slavery. And I read him, black man, as a kid, knew he needed to be educated. He knew there was a place called Hampton University that was educating Negroes. And you know, he said, I got to get on that. I got to get there. So he saved up all the money he can. Didn't know where it was. He just walked in that direction. 500 miles later, sleepless nights, sleeping under concrete. He made it to that university and then built Tuskegee with his bare hands, literally brick by brick. And he made sure in his book, Up from Slavery, to say he's one of many people like that. That's where we come from as a people. So when these people come over and call us lazy, knowing we the very reason why they were able to come over in the first place, it's a little disrespectful, to say the least.
No, I
So
totally
when we
agree
get
with
to
you.
this point, yeah, for sure.
I
When
totally
we get
agree
to this
with you.
point, hold on, real quick.
I got you.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, well, very quickly. So another point that I made was, I said it was the right message, but the wrong messenger. And people get upset. Well, he's trying to, make up for the atrocities. No, he's not. It was an opportunist. It was an opportunist
Wait, who was the wrong
move.
messenger?
The Ghanaian president was the wrong messenger, who I believe
Nah, it
that
wasn't.
we.
It wasn't even the right message. Like that, it wasn't even the right. All right, let me just say this. Right, it wasn't the right message.
I'm playing
So
devil's
the
advocate for a
prop.
minute. I'm playing devil's advocate for a minute.
We don't do
So
that here.
wait.
We don't do that here. We don't do that here. Yeah, wrong message. No app. We don't need him. Listen, this whole thing. This thing we gotta look. I gotta see past this, right? I encourage everybody to go play chess. You gotta see past this. See moves ahead, right? Ghana is broke right now. Ghana, and we weren't even talking about this, but you're right, Sam. We do have a new panelist, so I'll probably we'll come back to this conversation in a minute, bro. Don't drop, bro. I'll explain to you why that's a mistake to do that. But what's up, Telly? How you doing, man? Welcome to the live. What's up, man?
Hi, I'm. How are you?
What's up? You got a question?
Can you hear me okay? Just before I ask.
Yes, we hear you. You have a
Okay,
question? How you doing?
perfect.
Welcome.
Yeah. I guess like what I'm confused at and what I want to ask is,
Well, where are your people from first? You sound European.
oh no, I'm from Wisconsin originally.
Yeah, you sound European though.
I'm Native American. I know, and half Polish, but I'm not trying to argue about that. But I wanted to know, and you seem pretty respectful, is why is there a focus on America? Because in Canada there is also Indigenous people there as well too. So why is it only America that seems to be the focus for the FBI or not FBI, the FBA to have claim originality from?
Did your people sign the Dawes Rolls?
I want. Can I just have my question answered?
Could you answer my question first? I mean, you asking me a question about Canada while we in America. I mean, that's a question for Canadians. So I'm asking you, did your people sign the Dawes Rolls?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So when you say Polish and Native American,
Yeah,
chances are your people signed the Dawes Rolls, and they're not
Well,
actually
I'm a
natives to this
Ojibwa.
land.
I'm a Ojibwa. I'm not
I'm
part of the
sure
tribes
you
that
are.
signed. I'm not part of the tribes that signed the DOS rules.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. But let me guess. You get the privilege of going between America and Canada without having a passport, right?
No, I have to have a passport.
Oh, really? You from Wisconsin? Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you asked me why the focus because I'm in America, lady.
Well,
Real quick. Which country committed the atrocities against my people in this land? Was it America or was it Canada?
right. I
Which
understand.
country do we have full citizenship in this
Right.
land under the Emancipation Proclamation?
But
Which country is that?
you could see why I'd be confused about that, right?
Hold on, real quick. I want you to answer my question. Um, it's America, right? We have full citizenship in America, correct?
Do you want me to unmute or did you want me to say mute?
I want you to answer the question because you asked me
I'm
why
America.
America. I'm telling you,
I'm
we got full
America.
citizenship in America. Is that true or false?
That's true. That's true.
Okay, so we have full citizenship in America, right? So it was America that committed all these atrocities against my ancestors. True or false?
True. 100%.
So if I'm going to focus on a country, it would be the one I'm living in, the one that my ancestors were born in. True or false? Which one?
Right.
Would that make sense to you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so when you say why the emphasis on America, I think they say there's no such thing as a stupid question, but I don't believe that.
Well, I would just like to, I guess, piggyback off that, where if with the belief is that y'all were here first, right? Before Native Americans, correct? That's the part of your tenets of your belief
Let me ask you
system,
something.
correct?
Are you familiar with science?
Yes. I am familiar.
Okay, so all right, cool. You ever heard of Mendel's law?
Uh-huh.
Okay. You know about dominant recessive traits?
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. So there's this thing called a Punnett square.
Mm-hmm.
You have traits here, traits there, traits here, traits there, right?
Right.
The dominant traits tend to win out.
Mm-hmm.
You understand that, right?
Yep, of course.
So that means, again, this is just science now. That means the darker people were the original people on the planet, according to science. You
Yeah.
understand that, right?
The cradle of life, of
So,
course.
gotcha. So that means the first people on the planet were darker.
Mm-hmm.
So that means anywhere they go on the planet, they were native there.
Right.
Okay, cool. So, and you take it away from that. We'll just go with historical recounts. 1200, 1100. There are reports of darker people being on these lands by the Spanish.
You think Spanish?
You think those people
came
just
here?
went away when the English got here?
You think conquistadors came to America? Or South America, is what you're saying.
All right, cool. Anyway, shout out to Samantha the Shy. Y'all be sure to hit the cash app if you can. Nothing's requested. Everything's appreciated. So here's the thing: when you're talking to these people, remember this, right? They don't have common sense. They try to hit you with these gotcha questions, which is why it's important to research, read up, and know what the fuck you're talking about. This lady is from Wisconsin. Now, see, I know for a fact that a lot of those Native Americans over there don't have to have a passport when they cross the border, and most of those people are Mexican. See, after they lost the Spanish Mexican and the American Mexican War, a lot of them lost their land a couple of decades later because American judges did not recognize Mexican land grants. So what they were doing was they were hopping on those rolls, paying those $5. And they like to tell you, my people were on this land years ago. That's bullshit. See, if you take and again, shout out to Booker T. Washington. If you read his book, Up from Slavery, he tells you the natives that came from those reservations, this is when it first happened. He'll tell you, hey, we was the same complexion. Jesse Jackson is Cherokee Indian, Native American, whole nigga. I'm Polish, Native American Polish. Get the fuck out of here, dog. Go play with somebody else, man. See, that's the thing. They so used to people yelling and screaming. They don't ask you logical questions. You should definitely read the book. That's why I keep promoting the book. Yeah, I should definitely read it. I think every black person should read the book. She said something stupid. Say, well, it's not even worth repeating, love. It's really not even worth repeating. Shout out to say one in the building. Yeah. So again, as foundational Black Americans, us self-identifying ourselves and making it status based is a huge problem for a lot of these people, as you can see. They have an issue with it. They can't lock in. What's up, Jay? You requested. How you doing? Welcome to the live.
What's going on, bro? How you doing? Can you hear me?
Oh, can you hear me? Mic check 1 2. Okay, cool. Thank you. Can you hear me? All right, shit. Now, thank y'all. Thank y'all. Can you hear me? Let me know. Thumbs up. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, but South Memphis, you in the house?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Okay. Yeah, so the reason why I say, bro, devil's advocate is wrong to play and shit like this because people will take you playing devil's advocate as you advocating for what they're talking about.
That's understandable.
All right, so I'll give you an example, right? You familiar with Minister Farrakhan?
Yes.
So he went on a Donahue show in the 80s, and they asked him about Eddie Murphy. Donahue did. He was being manipulative when he did this. And Minister said, any criticism I have of my brother, I would just say it to my brother, but I wouldn't tell you because you would use my words against him. That's his way of saying, hey, I don't condone what he do, but I'm not gonna speak on it for you to take my words, right? So the thing is, it'll be like, I think the nigga goofy. Then Donahue would ask Eddie Murphy, well, Minister Farrakhan said you was goofy, and then now there's a conflict between two brothers. That same principle applies when we're dealing with this type of shit. Ghana is being very manipulative to everybody around. So you ever
Facts.
seen? You ever heard of the 48 Laws of Power?
Yes, Robert Greene's book.
There you go. You remember the law, play a sucker to catch a sucker?
Yes.
Okay, so the sucker thing is this, right? They know what the United States government official position on transatlantic slave trade is. They knew the countries who would vote no against this, and they knew the countries who would vote yes. And they also know that in the UN, the United States has veto power. You know what that means? That means if everybody say yeah, they say no, it's still a no.
True.
So it's a symbolic vote.
True.
But the vote wasn't the point. The point was for them to draw publicity to their year return part 2. Did you know that?
That I did not know.
Okay, see, and I know you did, right? Did you know that Ghana just recently signed a deal with the UN?
I knew that.
Okay, cool. You know what that deal entails?
It gives them money for infrastructure.
No, it sets them up as a sphere of influence for the EU in Africa because Burkina Faso is
the six
stabilizing.
region thing. The six region things. Gotcha.
There you go. Now you looking. Now you're thinking, right? So Burkina Faso is now stabilizing. Burkina Faso has gold that has long since kept the French rich. The French put the Burkina Fasos on their money system and would fuck with the inflation to keep them poor. Captain Touré took control of that and said no. He nationalized the mine, kicked the French out, established Ghana's gold mines for Ghana, built railways for Ghana, built up grain for Ghana, and revamped the mango industry. Now Ghana is looking to become the central trade hub in that part of Africa. They also have a deal with Niger and Maui.
I'm picking up what you're putting.
So what you see, that becomes a threat to the French and the EU because of Ghana's partner in Europe. You know who Ghana's European partner was? I mean, who Burkina Faso's European partner was?
It was the French.
No.
They kicked them out, right?
Mother Russia.
Russia. Oh, okay. I got you.
See how that's a problem? Now, you see the French threatening to step into the armed conflict in favor of Ukraine? Mm-hmm. See, they want to challenge Russia for Burkina Faso. So they send the EU to the neighbor. They give them motorcycles, hardware, anti-drone technology, and motorcycles. I mean, and Humvees and shit like that, right? That's enough to fight a ground assault and training, significant training, with yearly meetings. See, this is the shit that Ghana was doing. And they know most of their people didn't even come to America. They went to Brazil. So if they really wanted to talk about justice, they'd be at the Brazilian government for this. They wouldn't come here. But they know nobody has juice like foundational Black Americans.
True.
So let me tell you about the year return was a money grab. So this is just gonna go over this real quick, right? So remember that movie Black Panther that came out in 2018? The year return for Ghana conveniently was 2019. So our spirits were high about the Africa being shined in a positive light, and they made the foundational Black American man the villain, by the way. Hey, you can build Wakanda over here in Ghana. That was their selling point. So let's look at what they took in. It says tourism revenue, the Ghana Tourism Authority reportedly approximately 1.9 billion to 3.3 billion in revenue generated over 1.1 million visitors in 2019. They lost a lot of money with USA going down. The EU agreed to give them $54 million, 50 million euros. So them going to the UN to fight on behalf of foundational Black Americans, now believe it or not, but what should you not? They're hosting a Juneteenth event in Ghana. Packages around $4,000 per person.
Yeah, I never thought that Ghana should be the one speaking. If anybody,
nobody should speak for us.
Wait. If anybody, what about God rest the dead, my man Gaddafi? or Traore.
Nobody. Gaddafi didn't like niggas. What are you talking?
Wait.
I need y'all. I need to do y'all research, man. Muammar Gaddafi went to the EU, and these people don't know this, but I'll tell you. Muammar Gaddafi went to the EU and told them, "Hey, give me 5 billion euros a year, and I'll keep these niggas out of Africa. I mean, out of Europe." They said no. See, when he wanted the unity, he went to the UAE. He went to everybody but the African countries. And when the Arabs rejected him, then he went to Africa. But then before that, he stopped by the EU and said, "Hey, listen, if you guys give me 5 billion euros a year, I'll keep these niggas from coming into y'all countries." And they said no. So then he saw a way into America. He reached out to the most honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, right, and told him, "Hey, I give you $1 billion." Now, see, he was smart enough to understand that as an American citizen, Minister Farrakhan could be called before Congress to talk about what him and that foreign leader discussed.
Mm-hmm.
The foreign leader just basically laid out to Minister Farrakhan Libya's official position on everything and gave him an honorarium of $250,000. Now, see, this is what they don't tell you in the news. The reason why Minister Farrakhan said, "Hey, if you guys would subpoena me before Congress, I'd tell you what we talked about," but they wouldn't do it because they didn't want that on the record. Muammar Gaddafi was using foundational Black Americans as a pawn, just like he tried to use Minister Farrakhan. None of them African leaders can speak for us. See, that's not how we do things. We're not some rogue country, war-torn, being oppressed by European power. That's not who we are. We got equal citizenship here. We're American as anybody else.
True.
7, 8 generations of American. See, we got people like Sister Brooke, Brother Divine, and U.S. Freedmen Project. We speak for ourselves. If we want laws passed in this country that we live in, we have assembly people. We get a bill. They sponsor the bill. We write. We make sure it's constitutionally sound. We get support for said bill. We place that bill on the governor's desk with support. The governor signs it into law. That's how we get things done in this country. We don't need a foreign leader going to the UN for a tokenized vote so they can come and trick niggas out of their money. Most of the people that went over to Ghana got robbed. They were sending millions of dollars over there to get houses that were never built. Turns out the tribal chief didn't own the land. He's not the real tribal chief. Well, the real tribal chief wants X amount. It was a big runaround. There are people talking about it all the time. Yeah, I'll be sure to send the daily heart meetings. Yeah, so no, we don't need to get in the habit of letting people speak for us. See, we don't need that.
You cooking.
Yeah, I'm saying so we don't need people to speak, and that's why when we talk about there's no leader, that's the reason why you have people who understand what needs to be done, and those people move as a collective. There's no group think involved in that. If you live in your neighborhood and the Chinese people own the store and they disrespect the foundational Black American, everybody stop going to the store. We don't need nobody to tell us that. Everybody stay away from the store. We understand it. You from Memphis? You know how this go. What's understood ain't got to be explained.
True.
Now, when it comes to this, I understand it's a little different because people don't understand global politics. So when these niggas go tell y'all to invest in Africa, what they don't tell y'all about this shit is that they can't guarantee your investment. Because what you're invested in is the future, and they can't see the future. It's not stable enough. That's why they tell you when you invest, look for stable companies. You stay away from volatile stocks. That's why a lot of the resources in Africa haven't been mined yet. Because what it would take to go in and get it would cause such an uproar because it would take a lot of violence. You would have to literally suppress an entire population and set up an influence structure that's able to hold that down and extract the resources all the way out. That's way too much money. Civilians can never come up with that much. See, there's a guy, he was talking about investing in one of those African countries, right? And I was explaining to my chat, I'm like, listen, they will, in Venezuela, what happened in Venezuela was we had oil companies down there, but their president nationalized the mines and kicked everybody out, except Chevron, by the way. So that's why oil companies are now hesitant on investing in infrastructure in there now, because this government, this administration official policy is Venezuela is ours. That's our official policy now, currently. The next administration, it might be something different. And with the next administration, if the new president comes in 2 years after you built the infrastructure and says, this is nationalized, this is our mine, you guys got to leave, then they're going to leave. And that means he inherited a brand new system, state of the art, to pump all that oil out. And that's the same thing when it comes to Africa. Same thing in China. China has a thing that says, hey, listen, if you guys leave, you can leave, but all the equipment and the manufacturing stays here. That's why they bootleg everything. So even if a company goes out of business, they can still make it. Why do you think those bootleg Jordans are getting better and better? They made that's the same exact shoe at this point. So all I'm saying is, like, there are things to consider when you think about people who are qualified to speak for us, and that's nobody but us, because we don't know what their intentions are. And if you're not acting, I read this shit, bro. I promise you. We read the librarians crying out loud. Thank y'all so much for 109,000 likes. Y'all be sure to do y'all daily heart me's. Thank everybody for pulling up. Be sure to make a donation if you can. If you can't, I understand, but we're not Umar Johnson. We not shout out to Iron Malt. Shout out to Iron Malt. Thank you so much for the donation. Yeah, appreciate y'all so much. Shout out to Jermaine. Thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're not Umar Johnson. We're not trying to rob nobody over here. We're not building no school, man. We like Chick-fil-A and we buy books on Audible, on Amazon. We read books, we listen to books. That's what we do with our money over here. Shout out to y'all. But no, it's good we having this discussion though, because now Muammar Gaddafi, don't get me wrong, he did some amazing things for Libya, stabilizing this country. Kudos to that. However, Ghana is not, like, brother, we shouldn't even play with our lineage like that. Like, we shouldn't even do devil's advocate. They have nothing corrected. Good in store for us. And even now, corrected. They're using that same goodwill. No, it's good. I mean, I'm not fussing at you. I'm just telling you. They're using that same goodwill that we have as foundational Black Americans to profit off of it. This man came on live. This is back when I was on Twitter, doing Twitter lives. He came on live and cried about losing $27,000 of his money. Went over there with his family. Went broke, fucking off the tribal chiefs and shit. He thought he had the right thing. What's going on? True to self. Welcome to the live. And now he was in Chicago, some homeless shit. I forgot the nigga story. But he believed in that shit. Niggas saw Black Panther and believed in this shit. Like, no, we don't. And this is Pan-Africanism as a whole, bro. I can show you articles from the 20s. From the night, shout out to Sister Brooke. You know what I'm talking about, Brooke. From 1922, I can show you articles of people telling them our ancestors telling us not to fuck with Marcus Garvey or his ideas. And these niggas hated each other, by the way. These niggas put together a 4-part national tour to expel Marcus Garvey from the country. The man was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison for wire fraud, for mail fraud. They don't let him out to extradite him. He went back to Jamaica, tried to get it popping, didn't work. He died in London, having never stepped foot in Africa. So, yeah, no. That being said, not fussing at you, brother. I just want you to understand that in these matters, everything is political. We got people on this. I don't think people really know what's going on. You have people on this app at all times who are listening to these conversations to demonize us in the national media. It's just us, brother. It's just you from South Memphis. Hardworking, brother. I'm pretty sure you got kids, wife, family. Any of that?
Got 2 kids, been married for 14 years.
Congratulations, right?
Thank you, brother.
Hardworking, Memphis man, Black man. Shout out to you, foundational Black American. We need more fathers like you around. Much respect to you. It's you. It's myself, Sister Brooke, Samantha the Shy, Say Woo. It's us versus a whole fucking machine. See, we looked this up. Tariq, shout out to Tariq and Nikki the Guy for putting the paperwork on this. They was paying people $10,000 a month to make content going against us. Now they got this British journalism cosplaying as a curious influencer, and he's working on the hit piece. That's what they're doing. So we have to be real careful with our words. That's why I don't call people tethers. You don't hear me say that word. I say foreigners. Accurate description. Yes, Noel is an op. Y'all don't know that? Wait, y'all didn't think the Noel dude was an op? What do y'all think he's doing? The homie worked for the BBC. He lives in America. How do you think he got that visa? All right. All right, man. Listen, I'm trying to tell y'all, look, these people ain't who y'all think they is. There's a lot of people who running around hollering FBA who ain't FBA. You got these faceless profiles, never show their face. They tell you they gonna show their face one day, never show their face. Hold nothing but controversial lies for 14 hours a day. Where you think they getting this money from? They want it from Ambu, you get it, but you know, we fuck the Ninja TV show, so we already know. Content, you already know. Shout out to Ambu. Ambu, we know what they got going on. I don't go on this page anyway. He's boring. That's because he's there to extract. Listen, pay attention next time y'all go on Tariq's live or anybody's live of prominence, right? They all ask the same questions in the same exact order. Do you know what they're doing? That's research. This question was asked 7,200 times in various spaces. This was the common response. It's a script. So they're teaching them is how to deal with the response. That's why now you're starting to see them switch the game up a little bit. See, first they would come in and they would say, "What is this? What is this FBA stuff? I don't know what this the FBA stuff is, man. What is this FBA stuff, man?" All right, you don't understand what it is? We talked about it. Same thing. What is this stuff? What is this stuff? What is stuff? What is stuff? So once they got a firm understanding what it is, then they start going to other things. They start making assertions. Motherfucker go from telling you in one sentence they don't know what it is to telling you who the leader is. All in the same conversation. But if you're yelling and screaming at these motherfuckers, you never catch that. So I'm just saying, it is a very serious thing that's happening. And I do think we should all pay a little more attention to it. Because the idea of us being caught off guard with this shit is too much at stake. They research every panel. For facts, they do. That's why, look, the first time I came on here, shit, my arm popped. First time I came on here, all those indigenous motherfuckers came on here. And you see I kicked them right out the spot. Bye. Bye. We don't need none. I don't need none of y'all in here. Bye. 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 Pay the bill. Bye. Bye. Shout out to my moms, but I let my moms know, yo, we're not curious about what they got to say. See, that's the thing. If you remove that curiosity of what they got to say, this shit is easy. Because you want to know what? You heard it once, you heard it a million times. They going to troll, tap out, yell, raise their voice, try to get you live banned. It's pointless even discussing it with them. Like, I know what they're going to do. It's so unoriginal. And the whole point, and they only do this when they're trying. Thank you so much for the heart meme, man. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. They only do this in order to throw you off what you're talking about. See, in here, we're not screaming at people. We telling people the truth. I mean, motherfuckers learning shit. I mean, if you learning something, let me know. So they play the same every single time, every single shot. Thank y'all so much for 120K likes, man. Oh, Uppy, you okay? Please stop messing with the screen, Uppy. Oh, okay. All right, cool. Whatever. Shout out to Sister Brooke. Anyway, yeah, thank you. How are you so calm? Because I mean, I know what they're doing. Read the 48 Laws of Power. That's all I can say to you. I suggest y'all read it because I do this naturally. Like I know people want to rise out of you. I was raised with my father. First off, let me be clear. My dad was a single father, raising me. So he was a man. He taught me stoicism, so how to be stoic, so I don't just show my emotions anyway. I don't really do that much anyway. And not a lot of things surprise me, by the way. And also, when you're talking to these people, they say the same shit. Like these motherfuckers are so unoriginal. I know what they gonna say before they say it. You got the people who want to act like they nervous. Hey man, yeah man, I'm from such and such, and then before you know it, it's bullshit. Like you sit through it long enough. I've been hosting Twitter Spaces for a minute. I'm pretty good at public speaking. Speaking of which, you can book me for public speaking. If you got any public speaking engagement you want to reach out to me in the DMs. I do panels as well, so shout out to Sister Brooke for that one. Yeah, be sure to send y'all emails. Hiccups popping down. Yeah, shout out to May, rest in peace. Yeah, Apostle's a solid dude, man. But I just be wanting people to understand, like, dog, I promise y'all, it gets easier. It gets easier. That's why we don't hoard information. We like to put it out. And I don't want y'all to take my word for it. I really want people to. It would be nice if you could be in Hidden Color 6. Well, wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? Yeah, I am in Hidden Color 6. I would definitely be in Hidden Color 6. Huge shout out to the homie Tariq. You want to know something crazy about that? Tariq told me he's going to put me in Hidden Color 6 back in 2021. So, yeah, there's that. Show you how long I've been doing this. 5 years ago. Yeah, I'll be in Hidden Color 6. Shout out to the homie Flex, man. Oh, my bad. It's all good. It's all good, dog. I'll be in Hidden Color 6. Don't worry. People have to understand. Chinese racist. We can't show recklessness. Exactly. We can't show weakness. I'm new here. It's all good. It's all good, bro. It's all good. I understand. Yeah, shout out to Tommy Flex. Yeah, I'll definitely be in Hidden Color 6. I filmed for it the whole 9. Yeah. Shout out to me, man. Thank you so much. Spoke it into the universe and the ancestors heard it. Oh no, this is a while ago, dog. Like when I first met Tariq, he told me he was gonna put me in Hidden Color 6. We was talking about some of the shit we talking about now. He's like, yo, put you in the next Hidden Colors. He said it to me, and then I bullshit you now. He just hit me up like, yo, when you ready to film? I'm like, shit, yeah. So shout out to him. I do have a YouTube. If you guys are not following me on YouTube, when the tickets go on sale, I'm not sure. It says, what do you think about removing 19 keys? That is a decision the family made. I'm trying not to speak on that too much. I actually know somebody who knows him, so I actually wanted to ask him about some stuff myself, but not a conversation I care to have. But anyway, yeah, shout out to Homie Flex though, man. Solid brother, man. When I tell you, I do think Tariq has put a lot of people in the culture on. He does so much behind the scenes for everybody. I do think that it is shocking. It is slightly upsetting to see people stag homie in the back after I know the type of shit he do for people. Like, yo, shout out to Tariq, man. He shared his platform with me. He had to do that. like homies, just send me the mic. Like, and make no mistake about it, Tariq can cook people with the best of them. Like, he's probably the GOAT at this shit. He's been doing this shit since like 2014, 2015 that I've seen him. He will, even before that, he will cook somebody in debate. He does not need my help at all, any way, shape, or form. Like, he was like, all right, yeah, let the young guy got it. So, like, he threw me the alley on his platform. He had to do that. But, then again, I'm not the type of person who, take shots at people I'm cool with. So it is what it is. Who do you think should replace 19 Keys? That has nothing to do with me. I will say President Hotel Doe Dudes are pretty good at it, but I don't know if they're into replacing people or not. I don't know. I just, I don't know. I love when Tweaks bring you on. Yo, shout out to Tommy Flex. Yeah, you two together is powerful. Yeah, the brothers. Well, man, listen, it ain't too much nigga don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, I do a lot of research, but Tariq is well researched, and then also he has this thing on me I can't make up for no matter how much I try. It's called age. So a lot of this shit I'm reading through, he lived through. So he's speaking on it from experience. Not to mention he been around these niggas for so long, he kind of know all their game plan. So I think the content he put out is definitely needed in the culture. Says family conducted a poll. Yeah, I think it was 80% kick out, 20% keep. I mean, and like Tariq said, he went to the family. The family believed in the project so much, we raised $250,000 in a month. Like, that's impressive. So we hit the mark. Shout out to Flex. The mark got hit. I think Not really sure when the movie's coming out. I haven't really asked him about that. I mean, the brother's busy. I don't really chop it up with him like that, like I used to. Every once in a while, I hit him up. He good. And family good. Yeah, keep it pushing. Smart brother though. Smart brother. Yeah, shout out to him. Yeah, the family. Yeah, the family ruthless. That shit was 80-20. But like I said, I do think one of the things I would say about it, because I don't really want to keep talking about it publicly. I think that he should. I think if he had came out and kind of talked about it a little bit, it'd have been a little easier. But hey, it's a grown man. He's gonna do what he want to do. But I agree with Tariq. If you felt that way, why even film? Because you could have said no and you said yes. But I do think that there's a thing about people who will take advantage of a platform you built and not necessarily like you. But I don't know if that's the case with this guy. But I'm just saying it is strange. But all these people have something in common. Conflict of interest. Yeah, exactly. These people have investments, sizable investments. Let them tell it. In Africa. And right now, the hot Pan African thing to do is to denounce foundational Black Americans. It happens. Yeah, it happens, man. But yeah, like I said, man. Yeah, love us down. Yeah, shout out. I love us, man. I mean, we all we got. We all we ever had. See, and when you stood to reading these books and these arguments from foundational Black Americans from 100 years ago, you start to see we have ever had was us. FBA is losing a lot of people to the Pan African bag. No, we're not. What are you talking about? No. Listen, influencers that lack integrity, in my opinion, are going that route. And people are seeing right through that. Brother, you can look at, you know what? Hold on, give me a second. Shout out to Sister Brooke. If you look at this article from 1922, the thought leaders, Pan African numbers are dwindling. Yeah, it's bad. The thought leaders in the 1920s, keep in mind, Booker T. Washington died in 1915, by the way. The thought leaders from the 1920s got together, even though they vehemently disagree with each other on a lot of stuff. They all got together in a series of conferences to denounce Pan-Africanism and Marcus Garvey, referred to the man as an idiot. This is what they thought of Pan-Africanism at the time.
And a swindler.
Spoke extensively. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was saying, and a swindler.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You done? You want to add anything else?
No, just adding that.
I think he was born 1853. Yeah. So they got together as a group and they denounced Marcus Garvey and his teachings. Matter of fact, his brother said, "What do you say, Brooke? He should be scrubbed from the soil."
That's
right. That's what they said. Should be scrubbed from the soil.
That's what they had said.
They weren't fucking with homie. And then even I can show you paper from 1928 when they said Pan American, we should focus on American affairs. And until we get our affairs in order, we can't send good tidings across the sea. 100 years ago. And notice, Sister Brooke, Brother Divine, people out in California, you got people in Florida, you got foundational Black Americans all around the country who for the past 2 or 3 years, 6, probably more than that. We'll just say 2 or 3 years, right? Who have been primarily focused on foundational Black American affairs. And with that being said, Sister Brooke, Brother Divine, the people that be in these spaces right here, pump those emails, by the way. They have gotten a senator, assembly people, to sign on to a constitutionally sound bill for reparation, delineation, and disaggregation. See, when we not focus on anybody else and we focus on our affairs, we get shit done. That's why it's pissing everybody off. So now you're going to see people, especially the Democrats, come out the woodwork and try to force us back onto their side. See, Sister Brooks said something, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. When they went and she was talking to the Irish people about delineation, they was like, yeah, sure, it makes sense. They don't give a fuck what niggas got going on. But the niggas are part of the party, so they kind of give them a last ditch effort to make some shake. So now you got foundational Black Americans who are willing to sign on the delineation part of the bill, just not the reparation bill. You gotta ask yourself, why is that a thing? We don't know. But it's a bit strange, ain't it? Yeah, it's a bit strange. So anyway, that being said, I want everybody to send those emails. Sister Brooks gonna drop the link below. These emails help our people take back the narrative. See, when you look at NAACP, NCOBRA, all other bullshit organizations, they have been infiltrated by the foreigners who do not have our best interests at heart. When you send these emails out, you let the legislators know that the person walking into this office represents the hundreds of thousands of emails that have been sent so far. That gets their ear. Because the rule is one letter equals 3 people. That's what a judge will tell you. That's how they calculate it out. So that's the voice of the people. And even it comes from all over the country. And that's cool. Because you know who's noticing? The DNC. You know who also noticing? The scammers. See, if you want to know when you're making headway on the conversation, look at how many people start to try to scam using the method. Dr. Umar Johnson, well-known scammer, well-known Pan-Africanist, wants to extract a bunch of resources. That's all he does. He is trying to start a die-fi movement. Descendants of Freeman African, whatever the fuck that shit means. Now he's acknowledging that the Africans and Caribbeans are disrespectful to foundational Black Americans. When at first he wouldn't dare. Everybody see the writing on the wall in East Baltimore. Because they know, like Kendrick Lamar said, you can't fake influence. So if you read these books of the ancestors, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, read their books. They tell you about historical events that were infiltrated by these type of people. See, Malcolm X spoke on that March on Washington. It wasn't to hear Martin Luther King say, "I have a dream." Niggas wanted justice and jobs. That's what the original march was about. Justice and jobs. Yeah, see, she get a little different. Shout out to Dr. Carl Anderson. He talked about it too. See, we had all the keys. Now we starting to look at it. Now we're looking back and we seeing 70 years stalled dealing with Pan-Africanism. And now we focusing back on our American roots. And that scares a lot of people. Thank you so much for the lightning bolts, man. Appreciate that so much. Thank y'all. Yeah. Well, look here, y'all. We've been on here a little long. I am tired. Shout out to Sister Brooke. Sister Brooke, go ahead and tell them about the emails real quick before we got here.
Okay. So as you guys know, he's talked about this a few times during this live. The emails that he's talking about are emails to our legislators to demand that they sign on to our constitutionally sound bill for reparations and delineation and disaggregation, right? And so when you send these emails, you are showing how much grassroots support President Divine has, as his name is Black American Proverb in the chat. How much support that President Divine has as he has these meetings. I am just the big mouth of the organization, and President Divine is the one who is actually, in the meetings. Like I've been in a few meetings, but he's been in all the meetings, okay? And so he's the one who's taking these meetings with these legislators. So what you guys are doing is making his rough places smooth and his crooked places straight, because you are showing them that even before he goes in the door, how much grassroots support that he has. You're also showing how incompetent the legacy organizations are and how much they do not have the grassroots support. And it is showing how these legacy organizations like December 12th, National Action Network, NAACP, how all of these people do not have our best interests at heart, and they do not speak for us, right? So we are in real time making them making them ineffective, they're already ineffective, but making them making the powers that be not even take them seriously, right? As when it comes to the Black voice, right? And then you're showing who actually speaks for us, right? As I was saying in those videos where I lost my voice. So so we just appreciate all the emails that you have sent so far. What happens in New York will spread across the country, and then you can take our bill, because our bill is so President Devine and Assembly Member Nikki Lucas wrote this bill so incredibly tight that no Afro immigrant can stick a toe in and to receive a penny of our reparations, or to be able to dip their toe in our delineation and disaggregation either, right? And so because of that, because we have, some of the oldest Afro immigrants that living here in New York City. So because of that, you can take our bill and just copy and paste it. You don't have, just take out New York, put your state here, right? Copy and paste it for your state. And so this is we're asking you to help us set the precedents that will then move to your state and the city near you, and then we can take it federal, right? So this is the plan, ladies and gentlemen. What Ghana is doing is absolutely ridiculous, because we're not trying to get reparations on a global stage. The globe did not enslave us, right? Our enslavement is with the U.S. government, which is why we are fighting here for what we deserve here, and we are unique in that. Everyone else can fight their perspective colonizers, but we will be fighting the U.S. government on this soil, as we always have. So just take time out and send those emails. There are 5 of them. They're pre-written. You don't have to worry about what to say or how to say it. It's already done for you. Just go to that link, bit.ly/BREUCK call to action. That's bit.ly/BREUCK call to action, right? And we appreciate all that you've done so far. You can send it multiple times a day. You don't have to be in New York to send them. You could be from anywhere in the world. You don't even have to be FBA. You can be an ally if we have any of those, and send those emails. I really appreciate you. We definitely will put it in the chat. Thank you so much, Daniel, for always allowing me to do this. And I appreciate the family for everything. Thank you. Smooches.
Huge shout out to Sister Brooke. I don't know, Kat. This is the second live you didn't miss, Kat. So we're gonna have problems missing another one. Shout out to FBA Kat. She's not with us today. Kat been playing hooky. But we gotta say woo. We gotta say woo in the building. Shout out to say woo. Shout out to Sister Brooke. Shout out to, I think Jai is not busy, but shout out to Jai. Always Samantha the Shy. Appreciate it. Shout out to Swan and Uppity as usual. Uppity. Shout out to Uppity, man. We got 140 K likes, man. Thank y'all so much for stopping off. Yo, it's crazy. We got more than 40 viewers today. Can you believe that, bro? Shout out to High Heels. Anyway, y'all know how we in this. Until next time, y'all be good to each other. Be sure to tell somebody in your family you love them. You never know what people are going through. And, it's a beautiful day, man. Stay sharp. Stay flexible. Stay foundation. If this world